Welcome to my Twilight Adventure series. I was best known on Summoner's War for my LD only walkthrough series, and so I've done it. I've started working on a Twilight only account, and you can see my powerful story team right here. I've got the Light Hog, I got the Light Ninrat, and 2 Light Wisps. So those are the only LD units I have. So just to give you a little background on this account, I have my main account, which I started a month and a half ago. And a few days after that, I took my original account and I started resetting it. And I was originally going to keep resetting until I got a LD5, a Twilight 5. And that didn't happen. I did well over 100 resets. I actually lost track of how many I did. That entire time, I only got 2 lightnings. And I don't even remember what the first one was. But the second one was the Light Ninrat, and I said, good enough, we're ready to start. So this is the account. So we'll take you through it here. So I reset for like a month and a half. Once I got the Light Ninrat, I've only been playing for like 6 or 7 hours. And so all we've got right now is a bunch of wisps. So you can see this is the entire monster box. We've got the Light Hog and the Light Ninrat. And now, when I was resetting, I was using whatever monsters I needed just to run the reset as fast as possible. So that's why some of these units are built up a little bit. But this game actually does not give you very many light and dark units at the beginning. Like Summoner's War gave you the Light Elven Ranger very quickly. And then you can also start getting other light dark units pretty quickly. This one only gives you the Light Hog. And that's really the only LD unit it gives you until you start buying Twilight summons and getting units. So I got the Light Ninrat. So those are the only 2 units I have. So what I want to do in this series is just to show you how to progress in this game using light and dark only. And you pretty much have to start with the Light Hog Chef and whatever you can summon. And so I've got some rules. Now that I've got my Light Ninrat, I cannot use any regular element monsters, even those that are... So if we go here and we take one of the wisps out, I cannot even use any guild monsters unless they're light darks. So I did join a guild. So the guild is called LD's Waiting List, and it's a guild that was created by one of Jay Gig's supporters. Jay Gigs is another cool YouTuber that's doing videos on Element Fission. And I have no desire to be running a second guild, so we're just kind of hanging out here. And we'll be able, by being in an LD only guild, I now have access to all those other monsters to use in Tunnel and other things based on my very limited monster box. But one of the things I noticed is like when you go into Tunnel, I did up to Tunnel 4. But when you try to go in again, you can only bring 1 wisp with you. So I can't even field a full team in Tunnel. This will not be a high spending account. I will do a little bit of spending to get more Twilight summons. We have just enough, well, we have a little bit more than enough crystals. So we have enough crystals to buy a second Twilight Illyrium here, so we're going to do that. We already bought one earlier with crystals just from doing resets. So these will actually be my second and third LD summons. And then we also have 33 Illyrium and 1 5-star, which won't matter, except that it starts building up dupes for us. So we'll go ahead and do the Radiant Illyrium first to see what LD5 we get. Ha! Not LD5. Tree Twin Blade. My main account has summoned 3 of those. So the Tree Twin Blade really likes me. 3 on my main plus 1 here. And these don't matter other than the fact that they would be skill ups. So I'm hoping that we can actually get a Ninrat skill up. That would be cool. Nope. Here's another Lightning. Archon. Another lightning. Nice lightning rates. Annihilator. Okay. Bomb Man. Who knows what these will be skill ups for in the future? Can we get another LD4 soon? All right, so these are the most critical. So I know that you can get the Dark Giant from rewards just by doing following the missions. So the Dark Giant is actually probably a fairly decent farmer, but there are also some light dark threes that would probably be really good farmers. So the light Euryleon would probably be a great farmer. And then I think we'll have to see what his damage is, but I think the Dark Steel Wings could also be a good farmer because he's got 2 AoE skills, so he could potentially be a good farmer. We'd really like to get the Dark Hog because she does a defense buff, which would allow us to complete a mission in challenges. So, okay, these are the really crucial first summons because we only have 2 units. We're getting 2 more, and then combined with using a wisp, we can have a 5-unit team. So let's hope for no dupes. We want new units, useful units. So let's go. Let's see what we can get here. First one. It's not a lightning, but that's okay. Who are we getting? Light Popo Rider. That's awesome. That's going to be outstanding for dungeons. Oh, that's a really good. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, -1 on attack. Big deal. That's not great, but that's a really good first one to get. So really cool. Another no lightning. What are we getting here? Light Steel Wings, which is unfortunate because you can get him as a reward from the missions. So that's kind of missions or challenges. That's a bummer, but okay. Well, we'll just have to deal with it. But we at least now have 4 units. So we're going to work on leveling things up a little bit so that our plan for when we come back next time is we are going to 5-star the Light Hog Chef, 5-star the Nin Rat, and then we're going to level up the Light Popo Rider. Let's lock those. We definitely do not want to lose those. So the Light Popo Rider and the Light Steel Wings will be also leveled up so that they can start helping out. So we now have 5 unique units that we can field a full team now. We're going to try to work our way up to beating boxing level 5 so that we can unlock the Dungeon Explorer missions, which should give us access to a lot of additional light dark units, Twilight units that are available through challenges. So that's what we're going to do right now. After we make a little bit of progress, we'll come back and show you what's been going on. So we're back on the LD only, and I've been playing a little over 24 hours now. And it got me thinking, is it easier to start an LD only in Element Fission or Summoner's War? And actually, I think the beginning is actually a little bit harder in Element Fission because you don't have secret dungeons. You can't get Bella, Crow, Lauren. They don't give you Fran, although you get the Light Hog Chef, which is a little bit like Fran, but not very much. And so Element Fission, there's kind of 4 ways that you can start. The first way is just to spend money and get LD summons, and then you can put a team together. But that's expensive. LD summons are quite expensive in this game. So second way is you can kind of really so they only give you the Light Hog Chef. If you have just only that, it's actually pretty hard to get more units. So I did resetting until I got the Light Nin Rat. That gave me 2 units to work through story and also work through the missions, which allowed me to get to another unit. The third way of doing it is to spend as many crystals as you can to get LD summons like I did for my first 2. And then you can either go fast and get more crystals by spending a little bit of money, or you can go slower and save your crystals, because at the beginning they give you a lot of batteries. And you can see my energy is up to almost 400. So I've been making plenty of energy. But so I went the route of getting a couple LD summons so I could just have 4 units to start with. One thing I thought would be useful to cover in this video is, where do you get your other units from? So it's not secret dungeons, you can't get multiple copies of them, but you can get a few other light dark units for free very early in the game. And so the first one that I absolutely love is under missions. Once you get up to mission number 60, you get the light sharpshooter. There aren't really any quests that slow you down. You just have to work your way through the first 60. So we're going to go ahead and get her, see what her IVs are. Hoping for high HP and defense, because she doesn't really do any damage. Okay, I just got perfect IVs. I don't know if everybody gets that, because it comes out of a quest, but that's awesome. Okay, so she's locked, and then you can look at my monster box now. I've been actually building up sharpshooters that I can feed to her, so I can get her 5-starred and 6-starred as quickly as possible. And then I got the light hog chef, the Ninrat, the Popo rider, and the steel wings, all 5-starred and maxed. And then I just picked up the light joker, and I'll show you where you get him. Other than the light sharpshooter, all the other units you can get for free are through the dungeons or through the challenges. And so heavy metal between levels 2 and 3 is a mission where you can get a light steel wing. So if you don't get a light steel wings from a summon like I did, you can get them out of heavy metal. And you only need to clear, I think it's either level 4 or level 5 once in boxing to open up the rest of the dungeons. So that makes the light steel wings very easy to get. There's nothing in Death Lab that's light and dark. And then in Underground Vegas, between missions levels 2 and 3, again, there's another training mission that had that light joker. And the light joker is actually an excellent unit for boxing, because it puts up crit dampen, which is a buff that will reduce the chances of the boss revenging you. And also, if he does revenge you, the crit dampen is going to reduce the damage he does on you. And then he also, on skill 1, the light joker, I have him on my main account, but I haven't really prioritized him because I got so many other units to build. And I'm really looking forward to building this one to really good gear, because it does an attack power break on skill 1, and it also ignores defense. So it does nice damage to the boss and to the waves as well. And then it has a really nice heal based on his attack. So you have to make him high attack, and he'll do a strong heal and then also do the crit dampen. And then he always does a critical hit if the boss doesn't have a buff. So you can have the light sharpshooter move ahead of him, and I have her set to strip buffs, and he can move immediately after and use her defense break to do good damage. So excited to use that pair. And then there's no other light dark units in the dungeons, but once you clear, so I picked up the once I cleared boxing on level 4 or 5 one time using a support monster, it opened up the rest of the dungeons. Then I went and picked up the light joker from Vegas, and that allowed me to beat level 5 with the light joker. So I had a full 5 units now. I didn't have to use wisps anymore. But then once you beat Boxing Club level 5 without a support monster, then it opens up these challenges in Dungeon Explorer. So now you've got 4 more challenges to work on. And you can see it's Water Joker for metal, but so you can't use him as a light dark only account, but you can use him as a skill up for the light one. And then you can get the Fire Sharpshooter as a skill up for the light. And then you can get a Water Hog Chef for a skill up for the Light Hog Chef. And then under Anonymous, all you have to do is check the information on Anonymous and you get the Dark Giant. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to go to all the dungeons and we're going to just quickly, we're going to go to each dungeon and we're going to go strategy. Okay, we looked at that. And we're going to go Death Lab, look at strategy. That's good. Vegas strategy, and then Anonymous strategy. And now we should be able to go back. And now we've got a Water Joker skill up, Light Sharpshooter skill up, and then a Light Hog skill up. So we're getting some nice skill ups here. We might as well pick up this gear. And then we get the Dark Giant, who's going to be awesome. Unless we get a better unit, he's probably going to be our farmer. So I think there's a couple of units that are better than him for farming. We picked up a couple of power beans. So we're saving those for the Dark Nurse. So now we're going to be really working on missions. So that's where you basically get all of the free, easy to get light dark units in the game. So now we're already up to 7 units. And then wanted to show you, once you are done resetting, you can start working on your events. And you can get, as you work on your events, you gain points. You gain these purple crystals, event gems. And eventually you get to start having enough to exchange. And once per month you can buy a light dark. So we're going to buy that. That gives us another light dark summon. Those are very critical. And then I'll start saving up more gems to get other stuff. And I already went through the shop and bought my 3rd light dark with, I saved up another 650 crystals. Now the next purchase is 3 light darks for 1,900 crystals. It's going to take a little while to save that, but we're going to start saving for that. That'll be our next big summons. So, and then we've just been collecting a variety of other summons. We're actually up to 40 Illyrium. We need skill ups for a lot of different units. So that's perfect. So now we're going to end this video with summons. And we'll talk about next steps. Let's see what we get. Lightnings are basically just skill ups, or if we get a dupe nat 5, that would give us light and dark summons. But we only have 1 nat 5 so far, so the chances of that happening are not very big. But we like seeing Popal Riders, Steel Wings. We need more Joker skill ups because we don't have very many of those. Nice. We got the Water Ninrat, who we can't use because we're a light dark only account, but that's a skill up for the light one. And we still need to 6-star him. So that's another fodder piece for getting him 6-starred. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what we get here. Ghost Captain. All right. We will take anything. There's a Joker. So that's cool. And more Steel Wings and Popo Riders. So we're doing well. The Water Ninrat was a nice pull. And there's more Hog Chefs, Giants. So we need a lot of units right now. And we're ending with a Lightning. Wisp Catcher. Okay. All right. So, okay. This is early on in the game, these light dark summons are absolutely critical. So what we'd really like to see is Dark Steel Wings or Light Euryleon. Both of those are, I think, excellent farmers. If not, we can use the Dark Giant, but just no dupes, please. Let's give us some new toys. No Lightning. Light Giant, okay. And he's even positive HP. So he's a nice healer. So he can be used in different places. So that's good. That's a good pull. It's not a dupe. And what are we getting here? Light tank with horrible HP, or is it? So I think this is actually not a very good one. Damage based on your max HP. So yeah, so this will probably end up being we'll eventually summon another one that has better IVs. So that's unfortunate, but hey, it's another unit. It can help us potentially in reducing damage in certain areas so that the team can survive. So, I was hoping maybe we'd get really lucky and get another lightning, but that's okay. So if you look at this, our light and dark, we've only done 5 total summons, and we got a lightning on the first one to get the Ninrat. So we're only 4 out of 18 for pity. So eventually we'll get there. And that's actually another thing is I think Summoner's War is easy to start out, but Element Fission, I think long term with the pity system, you'll end up getting more light dark units than you would in Summoner's War because the chances are roughly the same, but there's no pity system in Summoner's War. So anyway, that's cool. So this is the first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna keep building up our units and start giving advice and tips on how to tackle different content with light and dark only teams. But anyway, this is episode 1. We'll be back in a little bit once we have some more to share. Until next video, see ya.